Not many people believed in me. Jerry Jarrett did. He was my business partner, mentor, and friend. He also believed in so many other younger people, and because of him, they were featured on NWA TNA. I can't thank him enough for all the support he gave us over the years, including making appearances on our Memphis Wrestling. The man was a giant, and I will miss him and his Gucci slippers. My condolences to his family and friends. Those are the words of Dave Marquez on Jerry W. Jarrett, who passed away today, of all days, on Valentine's Day. And as we think back to who the man Jerry Jarrett was, I can't help but think that this modern incarnation of the National Wrestling Alliance would not have been possible without Jerry Jarrett. His partnership forged with the USWA and eventually Music City Wrestling with Burt Prentice and Bill Behrens eventually led to the formation of NWA Wildside, and eventually the modern day version of the National Wrestling Alliance was born. I don't know that the NWA would have survived without Jerry Jarrett in those lean years. Furthermore, with the creation of Impact Wrestling with his son, Jeff Jarrett, it really breathed new life into the National Wrestling Alliance. I can't tell you what kind of man Jerry Jarrett was. I can only tell you from what people have told me, and that had it not been for Jerry Jarrett, I don't know that the NWA would exist as it does today. So for that, I say thank you, Jerry Jarrett. May you rest in peace. May your family find peace, and our condolences to you.
Can you believe that there are some people in this world that did not tune in to the Alliance Vlog podcast? Shame on you!
Shame on you! My name is Ella Envy, and I'm one half of the NWA Women's World Tag Team Champion.
And I'm Kinsey Page, the other half of the NWA World Women's Tag Team Champion.
And you better go listen to the Alliance Vlog, what is it called again?
Podcast, period!
Or you're ugly. Pretty and Power approved.
Why are you excited to be here tonight?
Because I'm just excited.
Yeah. No other explanation. Now, I do believe, tell me the truth. Is it true that your dad has a ringside seat but didn't get you guys ringside seats?
That is true, but it's because of his YouTube channel, okay? It's his YouTube, okay?
Her dad's an influencer. Let him go, guys. But your dad's awesome, right?
Yeah.
See, he's awesome! Yeah! Give it up for Claire. Thank you so much, Claire. High five. Yeah!
Gente, you already know who it is. It's the radioactive pop with Danny Limelight, the United Wrestling Network World Heavyweight Champion. And make sure you tune into the Alliance Vlog every week. You heard it here first. Straight from Poppy.
Hey guys, check this out. I am officially now sponsored by Dubby. Dubby is a clean energy drink made to give you focus with no crash. If you guys are like me, you're always needing a burst of energy, especially with one with no crash. Dubby contains vitamins, amino acids, a nootropic, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. It keeps me awake with no jitters, guys. Check it out. Merch link is in the bio. What is up, everybody? I'm out of focus. Welcome to the pre-party with J-Cal, a presentation of Alliance-Wrestling.com, your number one source for news and information for the National Wrestling Alliance. My name is J-Cal, and each and every Tuesday, I come to you bearing information and news about the NWA just ahead of our weekly offering from the NWA, which is NWA Power. We call it the hour before Power. We also call it the pre-party, and we have about 15 other different names that we use for this show. But each and every Tuesday, I appreciate you guys being here to talk NWA with me and you and that hashtag NWA fam. And if nothing else, I want you to be my Valentine. All right, everybody, we've got a big show ahead of you for today, as big as it can be in 45 minutes, 55 minutes. I already see a couple of our friends are here in the chat. I see Lane Bricks is here. The Alliance Gold is here. Dodie is here. Terry McDermott's here. Sweet Vanilla's in the chat. Welcome, everyone, to the show. Obviously, we're coming off the heels of the big NWA pay-per-view. Nuff said. Was it enough said? Did you get a satisfied viewing experience with Fight TV? Are you happy that we have new women's tag team champions of the world? There they are. There they are. Are you excited that your world's heavyweight champion, Tyrus, and his 12 pounds of gold was featured on a Super Bowl commercial? I don't have a graphic for that one. I'm sorry. What about the signing? Yes, one more name now added to the list of many names that have signed over the last few weeks. Of course, we knew about Carrie Morton. We heard about Misa Kate, excuse me. We've heard about some of the other names that have signed contracts at the pay-per-view. We learned EC3 and the Control Your Narrative have been signed to the National Wrestling Alliance. Well, I don't know what the heck that means, that the Control Your Narrative is now part of the NWA. What specifically does that mean? Are we getting a group of wrestlers? Are we getting the core fundamentals of Control Your Narrative? Or are we just getting Ethan Carter III and his psychobabble in the middle of wrestling matches? I don't know. But another name added to that list, obviously, if you guys have been hanging on to Twitter or social media, you did hear that both Poyle Damar and the Thrubilly announced that Thrubilly has officially signed a contract with the National Wrestling Alliance, guaranteeing that the Silas Mason will be around for quite a bit this year. And why shouldn't he? For crying out loud, that guy has become a breath of fresh air. That guy has become one of the most sought-after talents as far as I'm concerned. Put the damn national title on him and pack his bags and send him to St. Louis so that he may dethrone Tyrus. I don't know. I'm excited about Thrubilly. Obviously, this has been a very pro-Thrubilly, pro-Poyle Damar channel. We've been talking about how great that pairing has been. Even the infamous DKM, who's never wrong about nothing, just ask him, has said that he's had a very much change of opinion on both the partnership of Poyle Damar and Thrubilly and just what they've been able to accomplish in the ring. The duo have brought so much excitement to the NWA. The promos are money. And I just saw Poyle pop into the chat, as well as it should be. I mean, and look, I didn't know Poyle was in the chat when I started saying this. This is just genuine how I feel. I very much feel like it is such a great act, a great concert, putting two performers together. I think they feed well off of each other, and I hope that we get a lot more of Poyle and the Thrubilly in the next few weeks, few months, and hopefully a few years. Poyle says, even that grumpy cat DKM nerves us. Yeah, that grumpy cat, that no good done doer. I got to figure out how to say that so I can actually say it and not look stupid. Anyways, we've got a lot going on for the NWA. Obviously, as you guys know, that they did 2 days of taping while they were in did I just have a stroke? I think so. When they were in the Tampa area, obviously there's paid a lot of homage to the history of that area of Mike Graham, the Florida Championship Wrestling. I know that there was a lot of Tampa. Yeah, thank you, Poyo. Darn, dirty, no good. I need to write that down somewhere. I put it up here maybe so that I won't forget. But But yeah, the NWA just finished up 2 tapings. They just finished up 2 tapings out there in Tampa. Sorry, guys, I'm getting bombarded with phone calls here on my hotline. Apparently, we're very popular here. Well, they're just going to have to wait. We're doing a podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Pollo said so many stars and legends from other companies rolled through. It was amazing. Yeah, we did see. Sorry, excuse me for 1 second, guys. This is unprecedented, but needed. I'm getting blown up here on my phone, and I need to answer this text message. Okay, sorry about that. Back to the show. I do apologize for that. Media says, "Oh my God, Jay with no hat." Well, yeah, man, it's Valentine's Day. I had to look nice for the wifey. Had a nice little breakfast at the IHOP. Your boy had some French toast. It was thick and fluffy. Oddly enough, thick and fluffy is what they called me in high school. But getting back to Tampa, Pollo's pointing out there was a lot of legends there. Of course, we know that Bobby Fulton's been in the house. I saw photos of some of the, I think it was Sags from the Nasty Boys was there. A lot of talent rolled in. I saw Brutal Bob Evans was in attendance. I know he wrestled a tag team match. I mean, it's getting fun, man. I think it's kind of cool. A lot of familiar faces are showing up in the NWA. I've heard. Oh, excuse me. It was Brian Knobbs. My apologies. Brian Knobbs was in the house. This was a good seller. This should be looked at as a good event for the NWA. They went back to Tampa, a place that hadn't been well served with pro wrestling for a while. And of course, the NWA, with its roots, its rich history, its tradition in that market, I really felt like that was a great touchdown for them. And hopefully, as they continue to move along and the shows continue to find new avenues, I hope that they continue to find places much like Tampa. We've talked about it on the Alliance guys, that maybe a great place would be Houston, of course, with the Paul Bosch Library and the history that is connected to that area. But there's all kinds of spots in the there's all kinds of spots all over that would be great for the NWA to run, and we'll just have a lot more to talk about momentarily. Now, I want to jump into chat, because I see there's a lot of comments and I can't keep up with everything. Poyo and I are having a personal conversation right here on camera, but let's get to what you guys have been talking about. The Alliance Gold says, "That's what the NWA fam is all about, yo." That's right, because we're here. We're a family, brah. Oh my God. Dodie says, "Rest in peace, Jerry Jarrett." Yeah, it's very sad news. I mean, look, it's a tragedy when anyone passes. He's had a long road, and he's done so many amazing things in the world of professional wrestling. Wrestling is indebted to Jerry Jarrett. I hope that the bigger outlets will give him the praise that is much deserved for him. Of course, going back to the USWA, the Music City Wrestling, all of that. Without all of that, I don't know that we are here talking about the NWA as it stands today. Of course, let's not forget the impact that TNA Wrestling had, no pun intended. Those were some lean years for the National Wrestling Alliance. And again, I've always mentioned this on these podcasts. Like, if you don't have, if you don't have Ric Flair, obviously you don't have the NWA today. But if you don't have like Mike Rapata, you don't have the NWA today. If you don't have Steve Corino and Sabu and Music City Wrestling and you can't get from point A to point B without all the steps in between, and there were some lean years in those NWA years. And before the Impact deal, I mean, obviously our World's Heavyweight Championship was being defended in Japan with Hashimoto and Dan the Beast Severn. But before that, I mean, there were some lean times for the NWA, and not a Dusty Rhodes promo, but, you had Mike Rapata, Mike Rapata is a fine wrestler. I don't know if I would have put a world title on him today in his stature, but I mean, he was making a living doing pro wrestling. He was opening up, the enhancement matches on Saturday night. He was bringing loads of guys from Music City Wrestling to get experience and exposure working opening cards for the WCW. So, I mean, it all kind of, you don't get one without the other. You don't get Billy Corgan buying the NWA from Bruce Tharp. You don't get Bruce Tharp winning ownership of the NWA. You don't have David Marquez holding events, throughout the arenas in Southwest. I mean, none of this stuff happens without that one brick that falls. So, and Jerry Jarrett was responsible for a lot of those bricks. I think you can't undersell how important Jerry Jarrett was to, especially wrestling in the South, but the NWA and everything else. We've got Pro Wrestling Zone in the house. What is up, Rick Del Santo? Rick, I need to talk to you, man. Are you going to be at the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators event on March the 25th? If so, we need to talk. No more control your narrative. Willie Bowen's in the house. Willie says, Tyrus the toilet seat breaker. Hey, man, that toilet seat breaker, it gets broken a lot faster with 12 pounds of gold wrapped around your waist. Terry McDermott says, I guess EC3 can be used for fans to take a restroom break. Yikes. We said, the way I tried to advertise tonight's show on Twitter is that this is a collection, if you will, a resource for the NWA to see what's working, what's not. We are a great focus group. And apparently a lot of you guys are not happy with Tyrus or EC3. We'll keep going. Willie says, congratulations to the Renegade Twins, the new Women's World Tag Team Champions. Much deserved. I felt like that story played out very well. I still don't think we've seen the last of Ella Envy or Kenzie Page. I'm a big fan of Ella Envy, and I can't wait to see what's next for those three, including Roxy. Will she ever become a full-fledged member of Pretty Empowered? Dodie says Thrillbilly to the main event. Yeah, I mean, look, Thrillbilly, he's a guy, and again, Poyo has said this on the show multiple times. They showed up and they got an opportunity and ran with it. And I think that's awesome. If everyone can do that, there's been opportunities for other people that haven't quite manifested the same way, but that's okay. Not everybody is going to hit paid, or not everyone's going to hit gold. But I think right now, if the NWA is smart, they're going to continue to build this group, this couple. And I mean, when you look at what the NWA is doing, that match that he had, and I'm talking about Thrillbilly, had with JR Kratos at the pay-per-view was intense, man. And I know I don't think it was intentional, but the way Kratos bled in that ring, literally buckets of blood. There was a point where you could see a red halo around the skull of Kratos that was just liquid pouring out of his skull. It was if it wasn't so disgusting, it'd be kind of beautiful. Dodie says, get All Japan, Cyrus the Destroyer, Thrillbilly versus Cyrus X Millet Massacre. Yeah, I mean, look, stack them up, right? We were first really swayed by the Thrillbilly, at least for me, when I saw him in the ring with Davey Richards. I mean, it proved to beyond a shadow of a doubt that Thrillbilly was the real deal. And, we keep seeing it, so I'm excited to see more of it. Mike says, Brutal Bob was there too. I've seen from pics. Great effing guy. Helped so many younger wrestlers. Yeah, man, I'm excited to see what I don't know if this was a one-off again. What kind of opportunity does Brutal Bob Evans make now that he has had an appearance with the NWA? Will he be back for the next tapings? We'll find out. Heebs says, just a bunch of hearts, and I love you too, Heebs. You're the best. Poyo says this loop was insanely fun. It was, man. I mean, I wasn't there, but it looked like a lot of fun. A lot of the pictures that were posted, a lot of the stuff that made it to social media, I felt like was really. It looked like things were fun. Some fun things were happening. So we'll see how it all plays out on TV. And of course, I heard during the pay-per-view that Billy had spoken to Eddie Graham's daughter, and that hopefully we'll see some more of those NWA style podcasts with Billy Corgan. And, that I thought that was the ones that have been released have been very good. So maybe more are being lined up. And Terry says, as long as I can watch Mims, Jordan Clearwater, and Scion, I'm happy. Yeah, man, Scion, he had a brutal match with Homicide, and I guess that was the maybe that was the card of the night, is that just everybody had a brutal match. Everything looked stiff, everything looked rough, and you know, looked pretty intense as far as I can tell. Pollo said most didn't show up to be on screen. They just showed up because they respect the NWA and wanted to see old friends and show some love. That's cool. That is so cool, by the way. New Debbie Shaker. New flavor, too. Blue. It's called Big Energy Tears. It's almost like a boysenberry. If you guys have ever been to Knott's Berry Farm, it's delicious. Pollo says, next up, Mexico City, Chicago, and Australia. Okay, so Pollo, spill that tea, girlfriend. That sounds so weird coming from me. Spill that tea, Pollo. Let us know what's going on with Chicago, because their rumors are that's where the Crockett Cup is going to happen. And if that's true, I know quite a few people are going to be quite excited about that. Willie Bowen says, Dak Draper, Blake Bulletproof Troop, Tom Latimer, Odinson are NWA World Champion caliber. I think you're saying NWA caliber World Champion talents. Yes, but I want to believe that that's the plan, but I don't know. I really think that Dak Draper has got the spotlight on him. I think Tom Latimer could be another guy. Blake Bulletproof Troop, I think it's 2 matches. It's just too early to tell what they want to do with him. And Odinson, I think Odinson's a great talent, but I don't know what the plan is for him. He says in the house, yeah, I'll be honest, I'm not the guy to eulogize Jerry Jarrett. I borrowed from Dave Marquez because I don't think he would mind, but also at the same time, I know Dave has had a lot of interactions with him, even recently. I thought that they would be appropriate, right? That somebody who's a little bit closer to Jerry talk about Jerry. But I also believe that, again, we don't get to this point in the NWA without Jerry. Billy planned for NWA presence with Eddie Graham's granddaughter. Okay, I think I most spoke and I said daughter, but yes, granddaughter. And Dodie is a Blake Troop guy. I am not by any stretch of the imagination a Mike Rapata fan, but I do appreciate what he carried. It's the same thing with Tyrus, right? I don't like Tyrus as world champion. But I can appreciate why he's champion right now. I can appreciate that he's carrying the 12 pounds of gold onto, what is it? The Fox News Gottlieb? Not Gottlieb. That's somebody else. Gutfield. I get it. It's bringing viewers. It's putting the belt in front of a larger audience. That the domed globe, the 10 pounds of gold, the biggest title in pro wrestling with the most lineage and some of the greatest names to ever hold that title, right? It's not seen in the present, but there's this way, this legacy brand is what Billy Corgan called the NWA when he bought it. And the legacy of the NWA is painted with Ric Flair. It's painted with Dusty Rhodes. It's painted with Terry Funk. That domed globe title belt, the same belt that Kerry Von Erich won, right? That same title that also you saw years later with AJ Styles and Jeff Jarrett and Sting and Raven. And it ties that all together with Adam Pearce and Satoshi Kojima and Shinya Hashimoto and Dan the Beast Severn. You're tying all this historical pieces together. And when you've got Tyrus on TV, on a very popular TV show with that 12 pounds of gold that he calls it, that domed globe title belt, it ties all the history together. And even if somebody maybe isn't going to watch the NWA, they see that imagery. And that imagery, I think, pulls people back to the NWA. At the very least, they say, oh, I remember that title. I watched wrestling growing up with that title. Let me see what that's all about. Look, that's what kind of pulled me back into the NWA, was seeing Dan the Beast Severn bring that title to the Octagon at UFC 5, right? I think it was 5. Maybe it was 6. And he had the super fight title and the other UFC belt that he had, and the 10 pounds of gold. And I was like, holy shit, man. That dude is a legitimate MMA fighter, and he's holding that sacred 10 pounds of gold. That's awesome. And I think that's going to resonate with a lot of people today. Maybe they don't like Tyrus, and I don't either, but having that belt such a scene commodity, a scene IP, I think is good for the NWA. Heap says the pay-per-view for the most part delivered everywhere except besides Homicide's match. Really? You didn't like Homicide's match? I kind of thought Homicide versus Cyan was pretty brutal. In fact, I was just kind of watching it before the podcast started, and it was rough, man. Those two went at it. Willie brings up the history of the world's heavyweight champions: Severn, Pierce, Demon, excuse me, Rob Conway, Tim Storm, Cody Rhodes. How iconic was Cody Rhodes holding the 10 pounds of gold, at All In and all that imagery that was associated with it, right? And although there's a huge following of the NWA, the greater wrestling community either ignores the NWA or talks shit about the NWA. And that's just the facts. The internet wrestling community isn't kind to the National Wrestling Alliance. It just isn't. And, when you have some pretty powerful movers and shakers in the internet wrestling journalism saying that one brand is going to die and stuff like that, I really feel like, they don't support the NWA, and that's okay. They don't have to. But, it's just it's very telling to me that, they're not even watching the brand. Let's see. Dodie says 2 pay-per-views in a row, and I'm still prefer seeing Tyrus than EC3. Yes, I can't disagree with you on that. And EC3 is a guy that I think could potentially hold that 10 pounds of gold. But you're right. I think I'd rather see Tyrus wrestle than EC3 at this point. Poyo says we are the set and spike kind of couple. Absolutely. Set it up and bring it home. That's right. I can't even tell you all the legends we had in the house. It's amazing. I even saw Raven there. Not that Raven is the biggest legend of all, but I've always been a big fan of Raven, and to see him connected with the NWA again, on again, off again, whatever it is, I like the guy. And I definitely think he is a good fit for the NWA. Media says I enjoyed seeing the blonde Blodo. You're gonna have to tell me what that means, Mike. I'll get to you. Willie says Wildcat Promotion should be affiliated with the NWA and United Wrestling Network. Oh, I think Wildcat technically is still affiliated with the NWA. Brady Pierce, one half of the Spectaculars, is also your Wildcat World Champion, and Ryan Davidson, a former champion, the man that lost to Trevor Murdoch. He's recently been debuting, or not recently, but he's made appearances with the NWA. And of course, Hawkari is very much affiliated with the NWA. I think you're going to see more interaction between the two, but I don't know how soon. Heap says, I spied WOAD backstage around social media. She will be a wonderful addition to the women's division. Notice a bunch of Silvio Esquire students. I don't know who WOAD is, so I apologize. I don't know who she is. Maybe you guys can enlighten me. Willie says, I want Freya to slay in the NWA. Yeah, she had that match at Circled Squared, but nothing ever came of it. Maybe we'll see her down the road. Dodie says, don't tell me they held Crockett Cup in Chicago. Please stick the Crockett Cup name to the Southeast. Be interesting. It would be interesting. He says the 12 pounds of domed globe flashed across the screen while the superb Owls engagement was peaking for Rihanna. Yeah, look, it is what it is. And at the end of the day, Tyrus, what more could you want from your world champion to be featured on a Super Bowl commercial? Like that spot was seen by millions upon millions of people. What more could you want? Let's see. After Idol sucked the air out of the room, Cyan Homicide dragged. Maybe I'll skip the Idol promo and give it a rewatch. Yeah, I don't know. When I was watching it, it was very brutal. It looked very stiff. And then I remember seeing the photos that Cyan posted on social media. He said, I hope you're entertained. And his back was red, and he was all kind of beat up from the day's experience. Terry says, WWE people like soap opera over matches. Yeah, storyline, I guess. I don't know, like that the bloodline storyline in the WWE seems very interesting to me. And of course, Cody. Geez, Cody is coming back with these amazing promos. I just think the world of Cody Rhodes, that's for sure. He says, I feel like I'll be getting a long Valentine Day Gaga segment tonight. I sure hope not. Willie says WWE is garbage. Sam Retro's in the house. Wrestling with MMA is in the house. What is up, gentlemen? Glad that you guys could join us. We will be talking a lot about what's coming up for Power here in just a minute, but I also want to talk a little bit about the card that's coming to Mexico City, because your boy Jay's going to be there. Man, I got a new phone. It takes super video. My wife picked it out, and she knows phones. So yeah, I'm excited to get to Mexico City. I have a lot of things already planned besides going to the World is a Vampire Festival, where, you know, I'm not the world's largest Smashing Pumpkins fan, nor am I a big, what's the other band? I can't remember. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. I'm not a big Smashing Pumpkins fan. Nobody on the lineup really speaks to me, but man, this AAA NWA card is looking fire, because you're getting Daga, who Daga was in Impact for a short while. He is a luchador. By all means, he's going to be coming into a very mismatched match with Tyrus. But it's going to be for the World's Heavyweight Championship. It's the first time that the 10 pounds of gold has been defended in Mexico City since Blue Demon Jr. defeated Scrap Iron Adam Pearce to win that title. And that was about 10 years ago. So it's been about a decade since we've seen that. Yeah, I literally got the brand new Samsung, oh God, what is it? The 23. It's my wife picked it out. She knows phones. I don't. It's weird. I love technology. I love all the gizmos and stuff, but I don't know cell phones, and it's like second nature to her. But yeah, mine, it was supposed to be released on the 17th, and I just got mine a few days early, apparently. Other matches that are scheduled, we're going to see the World Tag Team titles defended in Mexico City. That's something that Bestia and Mecca haven't really been able to pull off just yet. They've been able to defend the titles in AAA, but that was in Dallas as part of last year's festivities surrounding WrestleMania. And I think this is the first time that they'll be defending those tag titles at a AAA event in Mexico. So that's kind of exciting to me. And who are they taking on? Oh, I don't know. Vampiro. Who doesn't love Vampiro? Oh, and let's talk about Blue Demon Jr., the former NWA World Heavyweight Champion. And, your boy Jay is a big fan of the Blue Demon Jr. I mean, I don't necessarily enjoy some of the things that he's been accused of, but, as a wrestler and what he was able to do for the NWA, I think he did quite a bit. I think he should be revered as one of the names that really helped keep that NWA sharp. James Bell says, make sure you take a power bank and a cable with you to keep your charge up for the show in Mexico. Yeah, maybe 2 or 3, right? Because it's going to be an all-day thing. Plus, the very next day, I found this thing where, you'll hear more about it later because I'll take lots of pictures and video, but CMLL offers this walk with the luchador type deal where I'm going to go on a lucha libre experience and drink some tequila with a former luchador, and they're going to tell me about Mexico City and tell me about CMLL, and I'm very much looking forward to that. How dare you, sir? That's a very good-looking Blue Demon like plushy figure. That is not Eric Cartman. Other matches that are scheduled, we've got Tom Latimer and Chris Masters and Kratos taking on the Nueva Generación, which is Sanson, Cuatero, and Forcitiero. They are the AAA 6-man tag champions. Now, the interesting thing that our pal Big Chris Dog pointed out is Kratos is technically working with the New Japan Pro Wrestling, New Japan Strong. So I don't know if you're going to see Kratos in Mexico working for AAA because New Japan Pro Wrestling has a relationship with CMLL. if Kratos ends up working that show, he could certainly alienate his bosses at New Japan Pro Wrestling. It might be better not to take that booking. Oh, the battery died. How sinful is that? It's almost like I wasn't prepared. It was almost like I don't have another battery handy right now. Let's see. Uh-oh. Come on, camera. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Where's the camera? Oh, now I'm throwing stuff. What's going on? What's happening? Sorry, guys. This doesn't normally work this poorly. Okay, well, stand by. I have a backup. This is embarrassing. Sorry, guys. Let's see. Sorry. Oh, man. Jay Cal in the dark. Yeah, I'm the man in the box, I guess. Oh, what did happen? Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Oh, how sad. Oh, look how great the camera is. What is going on? Oh, man. Let's see. All right. Sorry, guys. This is kind of embarrassing. It's bad. Sometimes it's bad, but it's never really this bad. Okay. So, real quick here, let me freshen up the camera a little bit. All right. So, let's see. Geez. All right. Other matches that we have lined up for that event. We also have Kamille taking on Flamer for the women's championship. That'll be the first time that the women's championship has been defended in the Lightning One era in Mexico. We also have Sal the Pal taking on Jack Cartwheel. Now, Jack Cartwheel is a kid straight out of SoCal in my backyard, and he is somebody who I really feel like you guys are going to be a lot of excited to see. Him and Sal, I don't know what kind of match that we should be anticipating, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Sorry for this. I don't have a handheld right now. And then other matches that we're going to see too. At a mixed tag, we've got Aaron Stevens, Natalia Markova taking on Ares and La Hidera. Now, I don't know if this match is going to happen as advertised because, I mean, Aaron Stevens has, I think it'd be kind of weird if he teamed with Natalia Markova, especially when Markova is, Markova is more known for teaming with Mercurio lately. So I don't know if that match still makes sense. And then an NWA versus AAA match, we've got Homicide teaming with Scion, which is amazing because Homicide and Scion just beat the hell out of each other at the pay-per-view. So it'll be interesting to see them team together. And then they're taking on Commander and Octagon Jr. Commander is a guy that's flying all over the world, so we'll see how that is. Heebs is saying that the NWA is advertising a surprise light heavyweight title match tonight versus Bestia 666. I hadn't heard anything about that. That's new. And then, of course, the match I missed, also Trevor Murdoch going up against Psycho Clown. That is going to be an epic match. I really think that's going to be a fun one to watch. We don't know for sure yet how these matches are going to be distributed to the NWA fans. If I had to make a guess, I would imagine it's going to be on some sort of tape delay. Obviously, it's not a live pay-per-view. Probably more than likely it'll be like a power trip when the NWA runs out of footage from the last sets of TV tapings. Let's see. I do know that we have some matches that are coming up for tonight. And let's get to some of those because, again, I've been talking about what's happening here on March 4th at the Foro Sol, but we have a couple of matches that are coming up tonight. Of course, let's see. We've for this episode, tonight's episode of Power, we've got Jordan Clearwater defending his television title in an open title match. We've got, of course, the tag team champions will be wrestling in I guess they're calling it an exhibition match. Let's see. That's not a great view, but I'm trying, guys. Sorry. Don't mean to go straight up the nose, but it is what it is. Okay. Then we have Mercurio. Oops. Let's pull that comment down. We've got Mercurio taking on Magic Jake Dumas. If you guys saw the pre-show, Magic Jake Dumas came out with CJ post-match after surprisingly Mercurio and Natalia Markova got the victory over Genocide and Max the Impaler in the intergender match, and then proceeded to look like they're about to square off Mercurio and Jake Dumas. So I'm imagining that we're going to see a more altercation between these two as they try to figure out what's going on between them and how they, how to make this work. At one point I thought that they were going to become a tag team. I kind of thought that we were going to get a Smoke and Mirrors tag team, right? Because it just seemed like every time we saw Magic Jake and Mercurio, it just kind of seemed like they would have made a interesting tag team. However, that didn't play out as either. So let's see other matches that are on tonight's card. We also have, like I said, the non-title tag team match with La Rebellion taking on the Mortons. And I think, maybe that will play into what I think Heebs had mentioned, or maybe it's James Bell, I'm not sure, about this unannounced light heavyweight title match, or I don't know, it's a junior heavyweight championship, so maybe I'm completely off on this one. I don't know. I got to be honest. This is it's news to me. So let me see. And again, I apologize for the camera angle, guys. It's not my favorite either, but it is what it is. Heeb says the bot in Gary's Discord posted it. Willie says, Jay, when you go to Mexico, make sure you request tequila without the dead worm. I don't think I'll be finishing any bottles, so I don't think I have to worry about the worm. Let's see. And he also said that Willie says, make sure that Tyrus is there with you, Jay Cal. I mean, he's going to be there, right? I mean, I don't think I'll have any physical interaction with them. I'm not going with the NWA. This is very different for me from the time I went to China with representatives from the NWA and the United Wrestling Network, because I was going as a representative of the United Wrestling Network. I was reporting on the event. We submitted articles to Pro Wrestling Illustrated. We submitted articles to PWI. I was there in a working capacity. For this show, I'm literally going as a fan. I have no responsibilities other than I'm going to be there, and we're going to be documenting it. Obviously, we're going to show as much video and pictures, and I'll give you guys stories of what happened there. But obviously, this is a different set of circumstances. He says, what a slap in the face to Mims, who had to earn his title shot just for the next day to have an open challenge. Yeah, yes, I agree 100%, Heaves. It is a slap in the face to Mims, and hopefully maybe Mims is the one who answers the challenge. I think that might be what happens. Willie says, make sure that Tyrus isn't with you if your camera goes down again. Oh, yeah, he might mug me, right? James Bell says, it wasn't me. Okay, never mind then. Heaves says, oh, the surprise title match is the title of tonight's Power episode. Oh, okay. Heaves might have misspoke. Okay, well, good. I haven't heard anything about a title match other than the call to arms, if you will, from Mr. Jordan Clearwater, who again has this open challenge. That's the only title match I know that's going on tonight. Willie Bone says, even though he signed up with MLW, do you think that Pentagon Jr. will be in NWA ring in the future? I don't think that there's anything preventing MLW talent from appearing in the NWA. So I know the answer I would first say is no. But, for whatever reason, we know that Ty Valkyrie is not a part of this. Some people are claiming it's because of her impact status. I don't think her impact status is going to have an impact, no pun intended, on her working with the NWA because she continues to do so. I also don't think her MLW status will impact her NWA status because she worked the NWA just this past weekend. So I don't really know. Wrestling with MMA says, Tyrus will only attempt to mug you if you have food. Carlton's in the house. What's up, Carlton? So again, sorry for the really bad camera angle. I don't know what happened to my camera here today, and I'm kind of frustrated. But it is what it is, apparently. I should probably not be playing with it while I'm trying to do a podcast. And then let's talk about Kamille for a minute, guys. And I'm sorry for the close-up side of my mouth. Sorry about that. Let's talk about the Women's World Champion, right? Because not only did she just have that title defense in Tampa against Angelina Love, let's put that aside for a minute. You know, the night before she defended that title in Florida, and before that she was in training with Natty Neihart. I mean, our Women's World Champion is literally becoming the thing that I think all the NWA champions should aspire to be. She's literally on the road working as world's heavyweight champion. World's women's champion. Pardon my language there. She's represented the NWA when she goes to XPW, when she goes to CCW, when she goes to RCW, when she goes to Vancouver, British Columbia, when she goes to Alberta, British Columbia, when she's defending that title in Tennessee outside of the NWA, when she's going to Mexico challenging for the Reina de Reinas championship. What title is she wearing? The Burke. And when I was looking at the wrong camera, sorry guys. And when she's wrestling, in where was she at recently? Where she's going to be next, looking at the Lucha Libre World Cup. She's representing the NWA. And let me make something perfectly clear. She is the center point of that flyer, guys. They put Donna Perazzo to her left, Jordan Grace to her right, and she's front and center on that graphic. That means they value how great Kamille is as Women's World Champion, as you should too. Let's see. Let me see. And now I've got some more comments here that I have to read. The worm gets you the drunkest. Carlton, I don't need to be drunk in Mexico City, sir. I have a very loose understanding of the Spanish language, and I'm working on it. But when I voy a la Ciudad de Mexico, más preguntas and más informaciones es muy difícil para mí. I don't even know if I said that correctly. And if anyone could translate, you're a superstar. Willie says, Terry, don't go to a restaurant with Tyrus. Dodie says, Mims has failed twice challenging Jordan. I don't expect him to challenge for the third time unless he finally booked to win it. Maybe that's what's going to happen, Dodie. Maybe Jordan Clearwater loses the title tonight. I'm just saying, I don't know. Luth Bez says she's come a long way from mute eye candy insurance policy. She 100% has. I remember, and I used to have a very positive relationship with Dave Lagana, and I still think I do have a positive relationship with him. We don't talk wrestling at all anymore. And he was telling me, he's like, hey, who do you think that woman is? And I'm like, the woman from the 5 seconds of Nick Aldis talking about being a world champion and challenging Cody at the 70th anniversary show. I have no idea. At the time, it wasn't Mickey because she was still in the WWE, so I had no idea. He's like, "Oh yeah, you'll see." And then of course, when we all got to the 70th anniversary show, we saw Kamille, and kind of shocked. But yeah, she has come a long way, and I think she's great. Yes, I've been waiting to answer that one. It is the sweaty T-shirt Severn. I don't know if that's the exact name for him, but that's what I call him. And his knee pad is down because he's getting ready to do a running knee strike. But yeah, sweaty shirt and all. Now watch, he's gonna fall right back down. Nope. He won't stay there for long. Let's see. Willie says Kamille squashed that flat butt trailer park tramp Angelina Love. He sure did. And Carlton said Kamille is on GOAT status. 100%. And I mean, look at it this way, right? First of all, she's defended that title in Canada. You got to celebrate that. It's even though that it's a world championship, let's be honest, most of the NWA titles won't travel out of the United States. When was the last time the 10 pounds of gold has left the United States? It was Nick Aldis, right? Nick Aldis, like some 4 years ago. Matt Cardona didn't take it out of the country. Trevor Murdoch didn't take it out of the state of Nashville, really, at St. Louis. We haven't seen the title actually leave the Midwest, really. And we haven't seen a lot of the champions taking those belts and doing these world title type things. Now, we know La Rebellion took the tag titles to the UK. That was huge. That was a great deal. We haven't seen Kerry Morton. I mean, Kerry Morton's been really pushing that title. He's been defending it in a lot of promotions, including GCW, which is great. Don't get me wrong. Eyeballs are what's important. But when you can take that world title and you can take it to Mexico, Canada, United Kingdom, I mean, these are all huge pluses. Kamille's done all of that. She'll be there in Mexico on March the 4th. She'll be part of the Lucha World Cup. She's got a title defense on March 4th. She's going to Australia as well. So she will be defending that title in the land of Oz. As far as I'm concerned, that's like 4 continents, right? At least 3. Australia, Europe, North America. Okay, 3. The mini Harley race figure came from Pro Wrestling Loot. And I did speak to the owner of Pro Wrestling Loot, Jeff Dino, and he said that he had some more available. I don't know how to get them, but yeah. That's where you could go to get them. Let's see. Answered that question. Luther said Kamille may check off every flag on the belt by year's end. I mean, on her belts, I don't think there are any flags, but on the 10 pounds of gold, I mean, yeah. What more can you say? I mean, we keep every week. Every week I tell you something new about Kamille that I'm impressed, and I look at her like she's out there training. She goes to Natty Neihart and trains with Natty Neihart. She goes and trains with Lindsay Snow. She's training with other promoters. Like she went to Ricky Morton's school. She's getting better. Like it's not just where she first started training with Bully Ray and Team 3D Academy. She's going everywhere to train. And what that means is she's looking to get better. When it's all said and done, she's going to be a master's class of professional wrestling. She's going to know it all. Doty brings up a hot ticket item here. If the World Heavyweight Championship doesn't include the Australian tour, I'll be very, very mad. I don't know if I could be mad. I will be sad. I didn't think that Tyrus would be going to Mexico. I was shocked. I was literally shocked that he would be going to Mexico. Maybe he isn't champion when it comes to Australia. I don't know. That's the only thing I could suggest. I know he's got dates booked up, and those dates have to be, they come paramount, I guess. But being the world's heavyweight champion, you think that he would be on those cards. But if it's not in the cards, I don't know. I would be sad if he doesn't defend in Australia. The 10 pounds of gold has a rich history in Australia. We know that, of course, Adam Pearce took that title there multiple times. We know that Nick Aldis defended the title there multiple times. It would be a shame to not be there, but we'll just have to kind of wait and see. But, guys, I think it's time to wrap it up because, unfortunately, my studio went to poop on me today. The camera just crapped out on me. And we've got 5 minutes till the big show, or maybe it's 10 minutes. But either way, I do appreciate you guys being here each and every week. Of course, we will be back on Wednesday with the other Alliance guys. That's Jeremy, Dave, Scoob, and Tim, also known as Alliance Gold. They'll be here to talk all things NWA. Of course, our pal Jeremy's branching off too. You could check his channel out, Wrestling with the MMA. He recently did an interview with the Last Minute podcast, I think is what it's called. Great conversation about two people who are very passionate about pro wrestling. I highly recommend it. And then, of course, Thursdays, DKM, Jade, and I will be back to talk all things NWA, including our thoughts on the card that's coming up in Mexico. We're going to recap the pay-per-view. We're going to recap tonight's Power Last Minute Wrestling podcast. Thank you, Jeremy. Apologies. So we're going to talk all things NWA this Thursday. Of course, we did mention Poyo. We were talking about Poyo earlier. We're hoping to have her on next week's podcast with the Alliance guys. And then we're efforting interviews with Wrecking Ball Legursky and searching out interviews with former NWA talent Matt Cross. So stay tuned to this channel for a lot more good and fun talent to do interviews. Not me, I'm not talented. And again, apologize for the camera angles today. I know it's not the most flattering. Hope you and yours have a very special day today. And we will be back on Wednesday. Also, watch the shorts, man. They help me out. Watch the shorts. Had some fun ones this week. Until next time, we'll see you at the Diggity Dong matches. Thanks for checking out the Pre-Party, a presentation of Alliance-Wrestling.com. You should hit that subscribe button and join our community. I also want to remind you that we recap NWA POWERRR every Thursday at 8 p.m. in the live stream. We try to stay social, so find us at the Alliance blog. And until next time, we are the Alliance.